if you're watching this, you've got a shelf of shame too, so don't judge us when we talk about ours.
Hi, I'm Libby, this is Julian, we are Box Meeples. Of course, you found us here on YouTube. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram too. Today we are talking about all those games that we have yet to bring to the table and play. The shelf of shame, the shelf of opportunity, whatever you want to call it, this is ours.
Yeah. So yeah, I have less than you.
Yeah, but can't be fair, I've just had a birthday.
You have.
And I went to Essen and bought some games.
You did.
So some of that is the reason why I have more than you.
So a few caveats before we delve into what's on this table, just out of your view. No expansions.
No, and to be fair, there's not many that we
No,
haven't
I don't
added
think so.
in and played yet, but we haven't included those. No.
No. And no games that have been sent to us to do content on, because we will do that
Well, they'll be coming up
as
as
a proper
scheduled to
video.
play. So yeah.
Because it wouldn't be fair for us to talk about ones we've kind of just touched on rather than played properly. So yeah, although we have Everdale behind us, we haven't played every expansion in that, but we played Everdale.
Yeah, I already owned the base game and I owned Spirecrest, and we've played Pearlbrook several times as our friend owns that. So although I haven't actually cracked open this particular copy yet, I don't feel like that counts because we are incredibly familiar with the game, having played it and loved it a lot previously.
So I think that's all the caveats before we bare our games we haven't played souls.
Shall I
You should go
start?
first.
Because I've
Yes,
got
you can go
more than you, and then we can see at what point you run out of games. And
Yeah.
I blame you for some of these ones or something. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know. The newest one into our collection, let's start with that, is Lacrimosa, and I'm super excited to play. It's only just been released here in the UK, and I've been away all of last week. So we haven't been able to get this onto the table yet, but I'm sure that it will happen very soon. I hear so many great things about it. I know that the components, like with little musical notes on them,
It looks beautiful.
and look at the foiled box. I mean, it makes me feel like Christmas already.
It's white
just because it's got that kind of like Christmas red shiny thing going on. So this will be played before Christmas.
Yes,
don't worry.
I think it would have leaped ahead of our kind of to play order because we're very keen to play it. It's just we just haven't had the chance to.
Yeah, and there's a few in our play group who did pick up a copy at Essen, who have bought it a few times, and lots of them like it. We just haven't managed to be on their table yet. So yeah, we will play that one soon. So yeah, number one.
A game we have talked about on several videos is Cantaloop. This is book 2. We've played book 1, we've played the prequel, really enjoyed it, but we just haven't got a chance. I think you kind of have to be in the right mood to play this game.
For me, certainly, not having had the history of point and click gaming that you have, I want to be, and I feel like because we did the other one, the first book, I think we did it around that sort of Christmas holidays, after Christmas, like before New Year kind of time. So I think somehow in my head it's got that kind of, you've got an extended period off together, sat about, you can plan a couple of evenings.
I would say it's 3 or 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. I think the last one took us. But you do have to play it in close succession, so you really need to devote sort of 3 evenings to play it properly, because if you have a big gap, you won't remember where you've got to, you won't remember what the clues are, and you wouldn't have a very good experience. I've heard not as good as the first book.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a repeating puzzle that gets a bit tedious. But the third book is coming. I really love the first book, so we will play this hopefully before the third book comes out.
The character's quite fun, and you obviously give everyone voices.
I do, of course, give voices.
And so our Hook, I think his name is.
Hook, yeah.
He's Hook. Has got quite the character.
He's a villain you love to hate. What's next?
Okay, another one that I picked up from Essen is Revive. So, yes, because it's been quite recent, we haven't had a chance to bring this one to the table yet. Again, heard so many great things about it. Loads of people were really excited about this from from Essen, and the tables around it were pretty crowded, so I didn't get to play this one either. But I tried to sort of peer over other people's games until it felt uncomfortable, and then go to the next table to have a look at someone else's game to see what was going on. But I think I'd researched it enough before I went there to know that it was one that was sort of firmly on my radar, and I had an idea of what sort of things were happening in the game. So a lot of people have said the sort of campaigny element isn't sort of worth it, and just sort of go straight in for the game itself. But I mean, we'll probably give that a try anyway and see what we think.
It was one we both kind of noticed before you went to Essen. It was on your games you wanted to see Essen list, and it was going to be on mine as well, but we didn't really want to have an overlap. And because you told me about it, and I looked at some bits and I thought it looks brilliant. I have high hopes we're going to enjoy that. Yeah,
I'm excited to play.
Why don't you do another one?
I did order from one of our friendly local game stores. They often have great sales. And I ended up picking up Tidal Blades, which was one that I was interested in quite a bit before. The theming, the sort of water elements, its worker placement, had a lot going for it. And then I suppose the more and more I looked at it at the time when it sort of first came out, I was kind of like, well, I played this over Champions of Midgard, which had some similarities, I think, in gameplay. And so somehow I convinced myself that I didn't need it. And then obviously it came up in a sale and was a bargain. And I thought, it looks so pretty, how can I resist?
Yeah.
It's pretty much what happened. We have I mean, it's got lovely game trays in it, and all sorts of things going on. And we have had it sort of out on the coffee table to work out how it works, but we haven't actually had a full game of it yet. So it still kind of counts, but I think it will be one that's played sooner rather than later.
I think so.
Yeah. And the characters look great. I know there's some expansions, so if we like it,
there's plenty more to
treats. And expansions don't count. We said that at the beginning.
Expansions don't count. You know, it's important to note that we are heading into the festive season, which is kind of a buying ban. So, you know, to make sure someone doesn't buy a present that someone else might have bought them. So we might have lots of opportunity to get through a lot of these before Christmas.
Yeah, maybe.
There's already something in your basket, isn't there? Online.
No, just in the wish list.
Okay. Right.
But yeah,
I'm going to embarrass myself for how long I've had this game.
Yeah, this is the worst one on the list.
I think it is.
I know I have the most, but you have the worst.
I think this predates me dating you.
And you weren't really even into board games.
No, so a friend of mine who we play a lot of board games with, I started going to this games club and he got very excited. He's a very dear friend of ours. We play a lot of board games with him. And he wrote me a list of games he'd think I'd like.
Yeah, knowing your kind of video game background and stuff.
So Cantaloop was on there. And I did research it. And I bought this second-hand on eBay. And it's very divisive. Lots of people really like it. Some people can't stand it. But my favourite anime is Steins Gate. It's also a visual novel, which this is clearly influenced by. I love time travel in science fiction films. So the idea of going back in time with knowledge of the future, I was really excited by. The problem is, though, our friend's wife can't stand this game. And I'm really... It's quite a complex game, and people have said that. When I first bought it, I looked at the rules and didn't have a cat and hell chance of being able to play it. And now I've played a lot more games. I think I'll probably do better, but it plays better with more players. It works at 2, but apparently it plays best at 4. So I've been really reserving it until I find a group of people who are as excited as me to play it. Hopefully that'll include you, but if it does not, then I want to get someone who's really enthusiastic to play it with, because I suspect I'm going to really enjoy it, and that's going to be dependent on people I play it with. So this is my kind of, when the time is right, I shall play this game at some point.
To be fair, we didn't want to play it and obviously there's been an awful lot of opportunity to play 2 players during the pandemic, and so it was kind of on the shelf for a long time because of that. And yes, we have got out and played with our play groups quite a bit since, and things in terms of gameplay are sort of, you know, back to normal. We've got several gaming groups of people and friends that we do play with. It's just finding the right evening and the right ones.
The problem is what you can only play the scenarios once, because obviously you know the end of the scenarios. So I didn't want to waste what could potentially be a game I really love. But, so that's why it sat there for more than 3 years on our shelves.
Whoopsie.
Yep. So yeah, you can your whatever you have left to show off, you would have had less time than I have.
Absolutely less time. I mean, this next one we've spoken about before. I picked it up at the UK Games Expo back in June. Successors. I think it just recently had come out. This was in the Bring and Buy, and it says on the side it's the Kickstarter edition. I got it for £30 at the Bring and Buy, so I couldn't resist that kind of bargain. Basically, and one of our friends that we game with a lot really rates this game, really enjoyed it. He is into that kind of history. I think it's Roman from the
something past.
Yeah, I'm history's not my forte. Apologies, but I feel like it's probably sort of Roman history, but it might, if it's not.
Wherever they wore helmets like that.
Tell me in the comments if it's not. But our friend likes history, so he'll know. And he, I think, has had one of the previous editions of this and enjoyed it. So I think we've said on a couple of occasions that we'll sit down and play it together.
I think we might play it in a few weeks' time.
Oh yeah, we could do.
Because we are gathering for a whole day of board gaming with him, and I think maybe we might be able to persuade him to play this.
Pull this one out and get that played. Yeah, because it'd be great to have someone who already knows the rules.
That's always great.
But yeah, I was super impressed with the bargain, and I do intend on playing it. I know June's a long time ago. We've been pretty busy.
And it's a complex game, and it's if someone can teach it to us rather than having to learn it all. And
I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't even looked at the rules yet.
Looked at the minis.
We will. I have looked at the minis.
Yeah. Priorities all right there.
What have you got next? Or am I doing another one?
Oh, no, I'll do one. So I've had it less time than Treasure Looper, but probably not by much. This is obviously Homeland, and it's based on the TV series, which is a TV series I really like, and you liked it.
Yeah, I like the TV series for sure.
I got this in a charity shop for £3.50, unpunched.
I mean, it does look slightly.
It's got some dinks, but we might have done some of those dinks when we were moving house and things.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, £3.50, you can't go wrong to give it a try.
And it was unpunched, and it's had favourable reviews. People say it's got elements of kind of Battlestar Galactica about it. And again, it's finding the right people who will play this, because the subject matter is a little bit contentious by playing, terrorists and manipulating public opinion, and that isn't going to sit well with a lot of people. So again, if I find the right people to play it with, it'll get played, and it only works with more than two.
Yes. So
which
we haven't been able to try. So, Battlestar Galactica, those type of games, that you're not going to experience a good gameplay in a two-player unless you're double-handing. But in those kind of games, you can't double-hand because you need to not know who everyone is. It's understandable. It's just frustrating sometimes.
That might be the reason for this, but I'll be able to tell you if I ever play it. But for £3.50, it's got lots of quite cool little meeples in it, so maybe I could use it for a different game if I'd never play it. But I would like to just play it once. So there's that. That's another one that I've had for. I think I did get that when we were together, so it's less than Treasure Looper, but it's I saw it in a charity shop in London. So
yeah, it was. I think that must have been just pre-pandemic, because you were going up to that charity shop and finding all sorts of gems.
Yeah, there's the.
And that was whilst you were still commuting.
Yeah. So yes, it was pre-pandemic, but
so. I got for my birthday, this one barely counts actually, Brass Birmingham, because I have already played it, not this copy.
No.
But I have played it in our gaming group and really enjoyed it, which is why I got it for my birthday.
This is in the top 5, I think, on BGG's top 100.
It's been, so high for ages, hasn't it?
There's no way I won't like it. And we should probably play it before we go to Birmingham next for the UK Games Expo.
because it has Birmingham in the title.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure we'll play it in the next few weeks.
Yeah. It's not long been since your birthday, so.
No. So.
Yeah, and you know it, so you can teach it to me. Great, that's been agreed. It's been said on camera. So that's what's going to happen.
I mean, I've played it. Doesn't mean I'm ready to teach it, does it? You know, that's always a thing, isn't it? I think sometimes when you have played a game and someone's done a load of the admin, or even if you've played it on BGA and the game's set up for you, and it's like you've played the game, that doesn't mean that
it does all the admin for you.
The nuance of it, but yeah, I get the general gist of it. So hopefully it won't be too. No,
I think it's got all the mechanisms we kind of know anyway.
Yeah.
There's new interpretations of them. I know I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
I have no doubt I'm going to like it.
Yeah, it's fun. I like that you steal people's beer. But yes, that's a good birthday present.
Excellent choice. Someone must clearly know you very well.
They must do.
What was a not good birthday present? Or I think it was a Christmas present.
I think it was a stocking filler.
Yes.
So let's not say that it's not a good present. It might be a very good present, but yet again, Byzanz, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, I
think so. Is I think a 3+. Does it say?
It's 3+.
On the other bit of the box.
If I'd realised that, I wouldn't have bought it. But it was one of those funds where you just see in a bookshop. It was in the end.
And I think it's like a trading, resourcing, gathering stuff, and trading. So yeah, it'll be interesting to try it. I mean, the art on the box isn't something that I would gravitate to naturally.
Nope.
I'm surprised because you're worse with art on boxes than I am.
It's probably an indication of how cheap it was.
Yeah. Stocking filler.
Yes.
Stocking filler price.
It's in a bookshop.
But yeah, I obviously I do want to give it a try. It's just that we haven't had the opportunity with the number of players. And then, because then new people are there, you need to then know the rules, but we don't know the rules because we haven't played it too. Yeah.
And round the circle we go.
Exactly.
Well, I better do one. So I have here a game I know we're going to play really, really soon.
Yes.
Chronicles of Crime. In fact, we were talking about playing it the other night and very nearly did, but time got away from us and we didn't play it. We've played lots of very similar games to this. Heard lots and lots about Chronicles of Crime. It's from Lucky Duck Games, who did Destinies, which was brilliant. And this is more, I think at the time when we talked about Destinies, I said I love the kind of mechanics, but I don't like the theming. Whereas obviously this is right up my street. If it could be sort of noir style, I would like it even more. But yes, heard good things about this.
And you were excited about the other version as well, the one that's a bit...
The Blade Runner style one.
Blade Runner style. Yeah.
So they're the other two, but I'd like to get. But I, if we could have gone straight into those, I think I said at the time when I got this, I got it at the UK Games Expo and they're bringing by.
Oh, another one from back in June.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It wasn't expensive. There's a lot of copies there, so they kind of priced each other out. But I did say at the time, if I could go straight into even the noir or the futuristic one, they're more my style of thing, but I've said I want to get the base game first because that was there and it's cheap.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how the app works because Lucky Duck, they're renowned for doing apps really well. So, and we enjoyed that element of Destinies a lot. In fact, I think I liked Destinies more than you did, but yeah, that would be interesting to play.
It will. I say amongst these on my section, this is be the one we play first, I think, of the
probably. And it'd be interesting because I've played a game of Vendetta recently, which I think has a sort of similar styling. So it'd be interesting to compare how they go, and maybe we'll be able to do that in a monthly roundup at some point.
Maybe. Who knows?
So you have one left.
I have one left, so it's going to be a concerto
for me. And then you can do one, and I'll do the last two because I got 4 left. This one, to be fair, I don't know, we probably shouldn't have pulled this one off the shelf because we have played this, just not our copy. We've played with our friends, but only sort of the one game. I love the Red Raven games. We had a great time playing Sleeping Gods and stuff, didn't we? And this one was great fun, going with all the different stories, and then you're sort of trying to sort of manage whether you go out on the journey or whether you're not doing it and you're getting the bits that you need and things.
Yeah, I suspect you enjoyed it more than Sleeping Gods because they're self-contained chapters. And your big criticism of Sleeping Gods was it's fantastic. Loved the game. And it feels bad to speak ill of it. But because it does take 20 hours, you don't get a conclusion for 20 hours. Whereas the chapters in this were self-contained.
I'm not used to having not having an actual end point. Whereas you being more of a video game player are used to just popping down the controller whenever and then coming back to it and the next day. Whereas I like to finish things off or get to a natural point of, even when I'm reading a book, I won't stop until I've got to the end of a chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I won't stop sort of mid-paragraph or anything like that. Even end of paragraph, I have to get to the end of a chapter. And I think there's that element in me. It's a me issue. that sort of slightly sort of nagged at me with Sleeping Gods. But yeah, as you say, this one is contained in per game. So I'm really excited to delve a bit more into this and sort of get the sort of full thread of the story rather than just what's happened on your journeys in that one game that we have played already.
Yeah, but we love Sleeping Gods. And what was nice was, although it did kind of monopolise all our time because of that continuing story, it was nice to kind of play it this time of year. When we played it after Christmas, where it's cold outside and dark, and you kind of just settle down. These are fantastically well written, so it is just like sharing a kind of book experience together. I'm really, really looking forward to playing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's nice to set a time, a period when we can sit down and play it over a few games, similar to Cantaloop, really.
Yeah, those sort of like legacy and journey kind of games.
Yeah.
We just need to schedule in.
Yes. Need to be a bit less busy at work.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, we have played this one, so it kind of doesn't.
You haven't played that, and you got a lovely copy.
It had all the folded space in it.
It had the expansions, everything.
Yes.
So it's,
so I haven't actually played. I don't think like the Amber Mines expansion and that's in there, so I haven't actually played with those. So that would be new. Although expansions don't count. Next, another birthday present. Another Star Wars game. If you know us, you know that we do love Star Wars, and I'm very excited because we're coming up on the festive season, which for us means Rebellion time. Yeah. We've played that a few times over. Yeah, we always play it on Boxing Day. That's our little tradition now. But we normally end up playing it a couple of times over the sort of winter months. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to get that to the table again because I think we did get it out sort of late springish.
I think we have played
summer.
it. Yeah, because every time we play it on Boxing Day, we go, we love this game. Why don't we play it more? And you see it on the shelf and go, okay, let's actually just sit down and play.
Yeah. So, but it probably comes to the table sort of on average 3-4 times a year, which for a big game like that, and for the number of games that we have in the collection, I don't think is that bad going. So I'm excited to do that. But this is going to be an easier one to table, I think.
Yep.
I don't know too much about it, but I do know that there's one, is it Thanos
Rising? Yeah.
Which is kind of the same but Marvel-y
I think it's exactly the same game, just different clothes.
Yeah. But, you know, who doesn't like a bit of Darth on the front?
And a great miniature in the middle.
Oh, yes.
So this rotates in the middle of the board, which is
Look at him with his lightsaber. No.
That wasn't a reason to buy it at all. Right, on to my last one. My last one, I'm kind of surprised I haven't played it yet, because I invested 100 hours of my life on the video game.
I'm surprised you haven't tabled this one.
And
yet,
I think it's only because I think I'm more enthusiastic about it than you are, and I know it's got a lot of components. The second edition, which is the version I've got, has got the revised rules and it's got all the trays in it, the extra tray, which makes it much quicker to table. But I do know it takes a bit of setup.
Yeah, so, I'm not opposed to playing it. I just don't know that much about the theme, but it looks quite cute. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm happy to give it a go.
I know lots of people really like this game. But even those who haven't played the video games, I think those who have played the video game like it even more. But I know some people who've never played that and really like it. It often appears in people's the background on people's videos, you kind of see this because it's so cute and pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to end up playing this and then wanting to play the
then giving up a lot of your life to the pixel version. But yeah,
I don't have the hours for that.
No, but I want to play this, and what I'm going to do is, and I think the reason you touched on this before we started filming, the reason I have less games to show is because I'm more forthright in presenting games that I want to play, because I have the chance to kind of set them up before you come home, or I have some free time when I can, during my work, when I can learn the rules.
Yeah.
So often it's a case of, we can play this tonight and I can teach you.
Yeah.
Whereas for some of yours, they're a lot more complex and larger and harder to kind of table and harder to learn. So I think that's why I've cleared more of my backlog than yours.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking of ones that are larger and slightly more tricky to learn the rules on. The Everrain, and we have got it out, and we have like laid some bits out. We have had the rulebook out.
We've got it so close to being played.
But it is one of those where you need to know all of the rules, I feel, before you can actually get going. Whereas some games, the way they play means that you could sort of do step A. Okay, fine, we'll both do that. Okay, well, what now happens? Oh, and now we need to do this step. Okay, fine. And you sort of can learn as you play. Whereas with this game, I think you kind of, there are so many options, so many choices. You kind of need to know the whole picture before you can actually get going with it. So it has taken us a little bit longer to kind of get our heads around that.
Often we learn particularly super complex ones like this from watching tutorials online, and there isn't any, which means we've got to...
Well, I'll keep searching. There might be something come up now.
But yeah, we need to really immerse ourselves in the rules and learn it ourselves, and that's not normally the way we learn games.
No, we normally watch a video and then go through the rule book, maybe watch another video, and then kind of do it in conjunction. But yeah, it's a big box, it's got a lot of stuff going on. I am really excited for like the theming of it, and the styling seems sort of right up my street. I've really wanted like a real kind of gritty, dark, shipping, can be piratey, but doesn't necessarily need to be sort of pirates themselves, but that kind of like on the water, dark deeds and dirty dealings and all of that kind of stuff, which I think that this is gonna have, and there's obviously gonna be some interesting creatures to meet along the way. So it's definitely gonna have to be, we'll sit down and learn it in a day over the holiday period. I think I don't see us being able to table it before Christmas, because there's just too much going on. But hopefully in between,
we're so close to playing it.
Yeah.
We literally had it all set up, and then we had an evening, but it's not going to work for that, because I think the first game particularly is going to take us an extended period to properly get the most from it, and I don't want to skimp and just go, well, that was kind of wrong, but let's keep on going. I want to play it. I want to do justice.
I want to do it right, yeah. And I think it's one of those where we've both got to have got read from front to back the entire rule book. It's not one of us teaching the other. We both need to kind of know it equally, and then help each other go, oh no, do you not remember that clause and this bit and that bit? So but yes, very excited. Right, and the last one, we're finally there. The last one, another one for my birthday, so not that bad.
No, not that bad.
Had it that long.
And we're much easier to table than the other way.
Yes. And it's Las Vegas Royale. I've heard so many great things about this one, and since we went to Vegas, that's sort of the reasoning behind us having this. But a lot of you guys have commented, oh, have you tried Las Vegas Royale? And you saw it in one of the shops that we have near to us with your girls, and I ended up getting it as a birthday present.
I gave my daughters a choice of which of these 3 games, and they chose us because they knew we went to Las Vegas. Yeah. So it was a good choice. It was the choice I wanted them to make. Yeah,
it would be fun to get this to the table and see what it has to hold.
Yeah, I think there's going to be opportunity too, because it's a kind of party-like game. Yeah. With a bit of structure and a bit of strategy to it, and we're going to have friends over and we're going to be able to play this.
Yeah, so it's going to be easy to table this one. Yeah.
So that's it.
Everrain. That's everything.
Not too bad.
Shame. Could be worse.
Yes, I've seen people who have done videos like this and it's been way, way bigger. But obviously we're
waiting on a few, so I mean it's a good job we've done this now.
There are some Kickstarters to come.
Some of the Kickstarters arrive,
Still to come.
because that'll add several to the list.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you played any of these? Which ones do you think that we should get to the table first? We would love to hear from you about those.
And if there are any you've seen here and you want to get yourself, the first place you should probably look would be your friendly local game store. But if you are shopping online, have a look on Geekyzone, because they tend to sell some of these games a little bit cheaper than some of the other retailers, and if you enter the code in the description you'll get it even cheaper than they're listing it for. But yeah, there's going to be more games to come. So this list would have got longer. But
yeah, we will talk to you about these games in more detail, obviously, in our monthly rundowns or when we talk about other favourite games. So if you would like to hear more about these, then do consider subscribing to the channel. We would love that, and even clicking the bell so you get the notifications when our videos come up.
Yeah, and keep your eyes peeled, because who knows, some of these might make our game of the month. Who knows?
Who knows?
Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.